Hello and welcome again. Back to compost again, another batch of compost. This has been my 10th batch of compost, and we're just going to run through how to make the best compost with minimal effort. Best compost, the easiest compost of the year. Not quite the best, worm compost. I'll allow that to be better. Anyway, so I'm going to be putting it in the actual bed itself to compost in bed at this time, because this green manure crop down here, alfalfa, is going to be terminated anyway, and also all that microbiology activity will go down to the soil, so it does nothing for good for the bed it's actually on. So rather than be under the trees in my usual spot, it's going to go here. Perfect, right there. So it's going to go straight on top of the bed, smothering a crop of alfalfa. So because this one is on a bed rather than on normal ground, I don't want to go, when I empty this bin, I don't want to go through to the bed soil. So I want to know a way of stopping digging down when I'm emptying the compost. So I'm going to put down a mixture of sweet corn and sunflower stems, this rough stuff here, and it's just, all it is to do is just to tell me to stop digging in the spring after winter. God, only kind of a springtime, us gardeners, eh? Anyway, so it's nothing to, it's not doing any other function other than that. Right then, so the layers. The first layer is compost that was used for potatoes in 2021, carrots this year. I'm happy to reuse this. Had a break from potatoes. Good shot. Yeah, that was right. So after each layer of compost, I'm going to put a layer of seaweed. Now this is a kelp type seaweed, freshly gathered yesterday. I did try and Google the name of it so I could sound like intelligent. I knew exactly what I was searching for, but I didn't. So it's seaweed. There is bladderwrack here. That's now I sound really intelligent, don't I? And I'm just looking to layer it in big long strands. I watched a video yesterday, not yesterday, a couple of days ago, of a gentleman lawn mowing his seaweed. What was all that about? Why would you do such a thing? This stuff breaks down quite fast, very fast. No need to lawn mow it or something like that. The worms will do all the work for you. Now this is another one that the carrots are used. Same as the last one. Don't know what that was. Now, I will put you on fast forward in a minute. I just got one more layer I want to explain what's going in, because some people ain't gonna like it. I'll tell you in a minute. Very long, this stuff. It's bladderwrack's nice and simple, of course. Good stuff for bladderwrack. At a choice, the bladderwrack would always be my go-to seaweed, but nature throws up what we can have, and beggars can't be choosers and all that lot. Right, now this is the layer I want to explain briefly. This is from my mum's garden, and It's peat-based compost, and I don't use peat. I don't recommend anybody uses peat now, but they should all be transferring away from it. But Mum's 87, she uses what she uses, tells me what to do. I'm in no position to tell her otherwise. There is some weeds going in here that was, because she's in hospital at the moment, not very well. The garden's got a bit out of control. She was still bossing around from the bed though. So the worst thing you can do with something like peat is chuck it in the bin, because at the end of the day the crime's been done, and now it's time to suffer the consequences by actually using it, you know, rather than throwing it away. That's another layer now. Do another layer of seaweed. So the whole point of this video really is to show you how to reuse compost that's been used once already without adding fertilizer. Seaweed, which breaks down really fast, will re-fertilize this compost, reinvigorate it. It will be brilliant compost by the end of this process without resorting to any fertilizers whatsoever. So it's a way of using natural materials to reuse stuff that is being used before, and to repurpose it. And what I will do is, in the potato trials I'll do later on in the year, I will make sure a batch of this goes in alongside other blends, and you can compare and see for yourselves. This has been washed, this seaweed, because it was washed up in the storms, and then I didn't collect it for at least 3 days, and then it was a very high tide, and this stuff was actually being washed by the sea again when I actually collected it. So it's had a lot of froth from the waves, which should have concentrated the salt in it a little bit. So I'll give it a bit of a wash. Normally I don't bother. More on that a little bit later on. I'll do a little mini trial as we do. Okay. Beautiful. By the way, with seaweed, it's highly advisable not to hot compost it, because apparently it blows off a lot of the nutrients and you lose a lot of the value of the compost. Not that seaweed would be very easy to hot compost, but there you are. It's an interesting fact all the same. I'm going to get beaten by the rain. Being the coward that I am, I will run. So I'll do this bit as fast as I can. Come on, rain, give us a break. I think I'm gonna run. Yep, that's it. Well, of course we endure the squall. This is the last of the sweet corn. It's overdue. I've got swamped with sweet corn anyway, so I'm not sure I'll pick it. If you can hear me above the rain, this is transplanted celery. It worked really well last year, and it came on for a great, fairly long spring harvest. So we'll try that again. Some French beans planted too late. Some Chinese cabbage been eaten by the slugs and snails, and spinach. Over here, Chinese cabbage again, a few lettuce, and Chinese celery. I hold great promise in it. It's supposed to be stronger than normal celery, and it's supposed to endure low light levels. So let's see. I'm back after the squall. That took a little while to get over. So we're just finishing off here. Trouble is, I'm starting now to lose the light, so I don't know if this is going to affect the video quality or not. Right, there we are. Job done. Spaghetti all in. This will shrink down a lot, and I will do more batches of this, but not today. It's a bit too wet. Anyway, there we go. Thank you very much for part 1. Well, that's the end of another video. Thank you very much for joining me. Part 2 of this will focus on a little bit more seaweed composting, but also the failure that was the hot composting from last week. I will be doing a follow-up on that, explaining why and how to get out of it. Thank you very much. Bye bye.